Hey all, good evening, everybody. Hopefully everybody's doing fabulous on a Friday Eve. So we're gonna go through real quick, say some shout outs there to Philip there, holding down the chat there this evening for us. So welcome. I think you're first in there, so maybe we gotta figure out some prizes there for first in, last out. Whoever's got to stay and turn the lights off. So hopefully you yeah, well, maybe that's something we got to work on. That'd be actually a pretty cool feature there. First in, last out, most comments, most engaged. I don't know. We'll figure it all out. So there's Charlene. So how we doing on the sound there? We'll do a quick sound check there. Let me know how that sounds there. So we got it's a solo night tonight. So again, thanks for tuning in to the biggest happy hour in a half an hour. This is we call it Friday Eve, right? This is Friday's the day of the week we all look forward to. And why don't we just call it like Friday Eve, like kind of like Christmas Eve, you know? So and yeah, Friday Eve. I like that. We need to work on that. We need a hashtag Friday Eve. Friday, something like that. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for all for tuning in there tonight. So hanging out there in the chats there. So join in the chat there. A lot of great folks there. Great conversations. Again, we're gonna go through do our normal shenanigans and all of our stuff here. So we're just hanging out, like I said, solo tonight. Sometimes you got to take some of those solo shows because there's a lot going on when you have got guests, and I love having guests on because it helps me, banter a little bit, have a good conversation, a good show, and you kind of have fun, right? And get into trouble with somebody else with you. And so let's get to it then. So let's get to our, one of our staple segments that we have on the show here. Let's get to our What the Florida. That's right. That's right. That's right. I live in the Sunshine State and I am considered a Florida man, I guess just by virtue of I pay taxes here. So I am a Florida man. Yes, I'll admit it. So, yes, my children are Florida boys, I guess, Florida kids, something like that. But anyway, this is our segment here called What the Florida then. Again, what the F is our cards here. Again, if you're interested in these kind of cards here, there's a whole deck of card series from a company called Pod Deck. So big shout out to Travis Brown there. So big shout out there to Travis. He's got a whole podcast. He does some podcast coaching. He's on really cool content. I follow him, and he's got some really interesting ideas. So he's definitely not somebody who's in the rum space. He's definitely not somebody in the drum and music space. He is a musician though in the past, and I've been trying to line up and have him on. But it's one of those things. This is a guy who creates content that's outside of space to kind of give some different creative ideas. So anyway, welcome Jay Bird hanging in there. So hey man, those Devils look pretty good against the Red Wings last night, man. They 5-1, I think. They almost shut the Red Wings out in Detroit. So I got to give you a hard time about being a Bruins fan and a hockey fan there. So anyway, your live feeds from the BD party was fun, even when some of the yes, thank you, Philip, for checking out the birthday party. That was a little bit crazy. I think we want to definitely do more of them. We want to expand more. I think we've got to get resolve some of our since we go a little bit technical on the remote broadcast. So we got some computer issues that we've got to resolve. It seemed like we're overheating our laptop, our portable laptop. So I know. I like to kind of take the same show on the road, rather than just trying to do it from the phone. But yeah, so we're gonna work on those because that's something this year as part of 2023 we want to work through, do more remotes, live shows, happy hours from different businesses or bars or restaurants or whatever, wherever you want me to come and hang out and pay my bar tab. How about that? So yeah, so it was definitely good fun, right? So yeah, long time no chat again. Philip and Jay Bird are members of the JNC podcast posse there. They hold down the Wednesday nights for us over with Brad Brock and Jordan Taylor over the Jams and Cocktails Wednesday podcast. So definitely check out our buddy Brad and his show there. Again, we're trying to work together, grow together. That's what it's all about, growing together and working together. So, yep. So anyway, so here we go. I'll shut up now and I'll get to this card. So here is our What the Florida question of the week. Again, put your comments or your answers in the chat here. Again, I love to know what your guys' responses are to this. Would you ever pick up a hitchhiker? Would you ever pick up a hitchhiker? So there you go. Let me know. We'll try to remember to throw this question out there. We'll ask again a little bit later. Um, yeah. Would you? You know what? I'm just gonna probably go ahead and type it in there. So, uh, because I know I'll probably forget later. What the Florida question of the week? 1 second here. Again, I got to type all my own stuff. Would you pick up a hitchhiker? So, hey, Sean, thanks for tuning in there, Sean. All right, now we can get this rum party started there. A little late. No worries, no worries. Hey, man, there's nothing late here. Happy hour never ends on this show. Well, as you guys know, it's supposed to be a happy hour and a half an hour, but it never seems to ever make it to just a half an hour sometimes. But yeah, so there's the pin the question up there. Would you pick up a hitchhiker? So Jaybird says not worth the risk. Heck no, not as a woman alone. You know, Jaybird, I was hoping you were going to kind of think about this a little bit through than your first response on that, because you know what? Yes, we're guys, and exactly you're being truthfully honest. I appreciate that. So yeah, so big air horns there for Jaybird there, being honest with that question. It's funny, just remember, because it's been running nonstop on HBO, is the Bad News Bears goes to Texas, or they play in the Astrodome. Right, now I'm dating my age because I don't even think the Astrodome's even around anymore. But it's it's the movie from the 70s. I'm going, and I think everyone's in the chat here, at least as far as I know, is old enough to remember the Bad News Bears, the original movies. And there was a scene when they're driving in the van down, getting to Texas from California, and there's this 70s, dressed, again, it's the 70s, of course, looking girl, really good looking, cute girl, and then, one of those little crop tops and those bell bottom jeans, everything looked right. And they pulled over, and then they started backing up, and she starts walking towards the van, and all the little kids open up the back door. There's like 10 kids, and she stops, and she turns around and starts running the other way, and she goes, I'm not getting in that van. So anyway, so yes, sometimes you never know what van you're getting into and who you're picking up. So again, it's a yeah. So Sean say nope, not picking up a hitchhiker. Yeah, the only hitchhikers I only ever seem to pick up are the ones, those little spiky things, when you're walking in the grass, and you end up on your socks or on your pants or on your feet or whatever. Those are the only hitchhikers I seem to be picking up lately. So anyway, so yeah, so what the Florida question of the week there, I just pinned it up to the top there. Would you pick up a hitchhiker? So again, if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us on our Friday Eve show, we call it. And we're a little bit solo tonight. So again, we're just kind of taking a little bit easy. We're a little bit chilling. And so let's, again, I'm sure, hopefully, what are you all drinking? What are you all enjoying? What are you all imbibing? I think that's how you say it tonight. What kind of cocktails you drinking? Because we're going to get ready to switch over to our cocktail can here, Cam. And we've got a good one here tonight. We're going to keep it real simple. It's not always about making cocktails, but it's always about having fun and enjoying it with the people, with whatever it may be, right? That's what we're all about. It's music, fun, and hanging out with people that we really enjoy company and positive and so forth. So here we go. Here's our cocktail can of the week. So we've got Medalla here. Yes, you may have thought I was going to go with a actual cocktail itself here, but Medalla Light. And this is a Puerto Rican beer. You've probably seen us talk about the show a lot, but we're not going to drink this straight from the can because I want to go ahead and show you kind of what it looks like. If you're not familiar with this, it's a great alternative to Corona. And definitely if you're from Puerto Rico or been to Puerto Rico, apparently it's like that's the main beer of Puerto Rico. Obviously a comparison or what's the word I'm trying to look at? Competes against, I guess, Corona. All right, so we've got our nice little glass here. And again, I want you to see how this pours. You're going to see no tricks here. We're being all transparent here. So we're pouring some Medalla. Here we go. Let's see if I can get the right product placement of the can. Every can is always that way. So how the heck do you do it? Am I doing it? I got it. It's almost like you got to pour it upside down. Is that maybe how it's supposed to be? Anyway, I poured way too much head. I screwed this up. So, but apparently there's a whole thing about on TikTok, if you minimize how much gas in the bubbles and the foam and the head comes out, then you're putting all that carbonation in the beer, which is going to make it gassy and filled up. So I guess apparently, but I think that might be a little bit too much head. Hey, oh no, there's never too much head, right, guys? Okay, I know you probably won't admit that, but anyway, so here it is. So there's Medaya showing on the cocktail can. They're nice, clean, color there. So we're gonna go ahead and have our sip. So cheers, y'all. So hopefully you're enjoying your evening tonight and almost close to the week. It was a short work week for us, and then next week will be a full week, and then the week after that will be another short week with the holiday on the Monday. So well, I don't think I've ever had had this yet, just in a glass yet, but that's very refreshing. And again, I know it's a little bit too much foam there, but anyway, so that's what we got going on tonight. So we are doing our cocktail can there, cocktail can. You can say that 10 times fast in there, especially when you've been drinking. Anyway, Medaya Light. So there you go, and there's our can. So anyway, so we are hanging out here tonight. Let's see. Well, I'm just trying to catch up in the chat here. Okay, let me switch them back to the camera. All right, there we go. All right, so yes, stick it cockleburrs. Yeah, there's yeah. I'd like you to try to have a conversation, Philip, about cockleburrs after you've had a couple drinks, and especially have this conversation with a female. I dare you. I'd love to be the fly on the wall on that conversation. Trying to explain what cockleburrs are while you've been drinking a little bit and explain it to a woman. So hey, the River Pirate. Hey, Jason, thanks for tuning in there. Tuning in there again. Our part of our rum posse, the River Pirate. There, he does a lot of content also over on YouTube reviews. Hey, Jason, I think you already know that we're going to go on the Margaritaville cruise next week. So looking forward to that. Haven't been to Grand Bahama Island yet, so I don't know what to expect. Jason is drinking Florida Tecana rum on the rock. Okay, nice on the rocks. To be specific, he's drinking Florida Tecana 18. So, yes, I said, I'm having coffee so I can stay up late enough to catch the brew. I know those late games are really tough, Jay. Question of the week: pick up a hitchhiker only if the director of the horror movie tells me to. Yes. Well, you know what, River Pirate, if you are a virgin and you're picking up hitchhikers, most likely, if you're going to be in a movie and if you're in a horror movie and you're a virgin, most likely you're not going to make it to the end of the movie, right? So that's good. That's the rules, right? They explain that in the Scream movies about that. All right. So anyway, so yeah. So thanks for tuning in. If you saw like I said, we were just talking about our what the Florida question of the week here. Would you pick up a hitchhiker? Would you ever pick up a hitchhiker? So, yeah, our cocktail can. We got those things going. And I think before we jump over to our Florida man story here, I did actually have something I kind of wanted to bring up here. I think there's, now that this is actually the first show of 2023, right? So it just feels like it was just last week, which I guess it was last Thursday that we did our Florida or our live stream last week before the New Year's, and this is our first show of the year. So I'm just curious. Like I said, I know our everyone goes through this, and it's great. And I talked a little bit about. Well, before I get into this, and it kind of leads into it, does anybody that listens to the podcast, have you guys checked out the carpooling with Paul, the carpooling short little form podcast? Again, that is actually me getting on and off the highway in I-95 here in Palm Beach County. So my short is actually my drive is that actually short. And I was just curious, I'm trying to gauge to see if there's any interest in this podcast. I guess, again, I did that in between the Drums and Rums episode, the last one in November, and this one we just released the recap of 2022. And I don't know, like I said, I'm just trying to get a gauge. Is it interesting? Does anybody like it? Should I continue it? I'm trying again. I don't know if I've now cluttered the Drums and Rums podcast channel stream because now I've got a different show in there that I've fused in, and I should try to at least preface everybody about it. So hopefully I haven't muddied up what I've been doing going into my fourth year, but no, going into my 3rd year. Yes, 2023. I'm going into my 3rd year. And, or I can't remember now. I started in 2020. 2021 was the first year. 2022 is the second year. Yeah, it'll be my 3rd anniversary. I can't. It sounds like math right now. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Have you guys listened and checked out that episode of Carpooling with Paul? Again, it's just the things that are kind of, if I was in a carpool, and I know Charlene's in the chat here, so she knows she's probably the only person in the chat here that's actually driven with me in a car. Yeah, I do like to listen to music, and then sometimes I do like to chat, and especially if I'm getting tired, I do need to have a little interaction there. But yeah, it's just things that I would think to have a conversation with if we were actually carpooling into work or riding into work together. Just some random stuff that come pop in there. Again, let me know in the chat there if you listen. No, no big deal if you don't listen to it. I'm just trying to see if anyone does listen to it and just trying to gauge some feedback on it. So, um, but yeah, so let's so like I said, that kind of leads into this question here. One of the things I did bring up on today's episode, I always tape the day and then it gets released the next day. So I'm always a little day behind in maybe some of the references. But again, obviously it's me I record it going into work, and then I record it, then I post it because obviously I'm at work. I can't do that, right? So anyway, so one of the things I did talk about was, obviously 2023. How many people were actually still on? It was Brad this morning talked about the National Keto Day, and then I was just curious on how many people are actually made a resolution to make a diet. That's one. And then obviously whether it's keto or Atkins or Weight Watchers or whatever. And then so it kind of made me think about this was, some New Year's resolutions. And I found this on Forbes magazine. Um, as old NASA rum, which is worth grab. Okay, so we got to make note of that, Jason. There, at old Grand Bahamas Island has Old Nassau rum, which is worth grabbing a bottle. So, all right, so there we go. So yes, so we'll have to add that to our list, and then also we got to pick up some. What was the other thing too? We Havana Club and some other stuff that we can try to grab on the ship. But anyway, so meanwhile, back at the ranch here. So resolutions. This was I found on Forbes magazine. It was a kind of an interesting article they posted. It said 10 essential New Year's resolutions you might have left off your list. Okay, it's on Forbes magazine, so that's a credible place, right? So number one on their list was set lifelines instead of deadlines. They're called deadlines for a reason. And if you're dead, you can't be happy or meet your career goals. Set realistic lifelines that you can give you more time, slow you down, and make more productive and be effective. When you set lifelines, you don't overschedule or procrastinate. You put time cushions, chances to breathe, eat a snack, go to the bathroom, or just look out the window between work tasks. Lifelines make you less likely to hear that whooshing sound as deadlines go by or feel that sick feeling in your pit of your stomach for always being behind. Your days become less hurried and harried, and you enjoy them more. Okay, lifelines. Okay, I like that instead of deadlines. That makes sense, right? Number two, extinguish your blame thrower. All right, I think we're back. Well, there's a delay. Remember, there's like a 10-second delay. So, all right, so I think we're back. Wow, 8 minutes in, a big drop off. Great, super. All right, so we're back. We'll go ahead and just kind of have some drinks before we'll let everybody come back in here. So we're not quite sure what's going on here. Oh, goody, goody, goody. So we're gonna close that. I don't know. Maybe I'm not allowed to do resolutions this year. So yes. Oh, yes. I'm sometimes am accused of that, Sean. So yes, a little dramatic pause. Again, it's all being part of the performer, right? And the performer in me, right? So yes. So again, thanks for hanging in there. Again, we were just going through, and again, I thought I was just talking to myself, and then I realized, oh, wait a minute. Oh, here I thought I was talking to you guys, and I realized I was just talking to myself. So anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging in there while we do a little boot up. So as we were just talking in there while we were going through a little rebound, and we were just discussing that. All right, so maybe it's not the laptop that I've got. I think the laptop's got some problems when I'm remote, but something else must be up that's caused that. I haven't had that happen in a while. So anyway, we're not going to kind of dwell on that any much anymore there, but we're going to go through. Hopefully, you guys are catching back up. You've seen the notification that we're back live again, and we'll kind of go back into it. So, all right. Well, I guess just for right now, I guess we'll go through here. I know folks had dropped off there, so should we go ahead and continue with our list? And then I guess if people ask what number that they missed, they'll have to go back and watch the video. So anyway, so here's our resolution here. We talked about being the blame thrower. All right, so I think you guys all had mentioned says, all right, if you're like most people, you have a relentless blame thrower that lives in your brain, ruling your mind and career, and bludgeoning you with criticism, blame, and oppressive words such as must, should, ought, and have to. In an effort to perform better, the relentless voice kicks you when you lose a promotion or miss a deadline. Coming down hard on yourself after a setback reduces your chance of rebounding. Instead of kicking yourself when you slip up, forget, or fail a task, be kinder to yourself and you'll be able to bounce back quick. So, like I said, I think that, I kind of like that. Again, it's trying to take a little bit more of the positive approach to things, rather than being such negative. And it's hard. It's hard to kind of rewire yourself to kind of look at things in a different way or approach things. So, number 3, avoid gobble, gulp, and go. So, this is interesting. Slow down for heaven's sake. Even the fast lane has a speed limit. A healthy lifestyle, nutritious meals, ample rest, and regular exercise gives you the stamina to withstand the fast lane. The acronym HALT, HALT, which stands for hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, is a gentle reminder for you to stop and bring yourself back into balance when you're out of gas. Eat when hungry. Let your anger out in a constructive way. Call someone if you're lonely, and rest when tired. Indulge in a restorative activity, a hobby, yoga, massage, meditation, or a hot bath that rejuvenates your mind and body. So, does anybody do that? Does anybody kind of, when they get down on themselves, does anybody kind of takes a little relax? However, maybe it's exercising like that, or maybe a little bit medicinal, especially if they kind of relax themselves down after maybe some type of incident went on there. So I don't know. That'd be kind of I think these are really kind of some really uh, good tips, I guess, to kind of give yourself rather than things like I said, lose weight or save money or whatever. Change your scenery. Number 4, scientists report that nature bathing for 120 minutes a week, no more or no less, boosts your happiness. It doesn't matter what you're doing, running, playing tennis, or walking, or how you break it up. 2 hours a week outdoors gives your fatigued mind a break, boosts your mood, and recharges your batteries. Dine away from your desk outdoors. Take a walk around the block or sit in a park before returning to the office. When indoors, consider giving your workstation a makeover. A disorganized or sloppy work area can raise stress. If your desk looks like a tsunami struck, a pleasant workspace can raise happiness levels and establish feelings of calm and control. I actually might take up some of these actually. So I don't know. What do you guys think about some of these resolutions here? A little bit different approach. Again, it's from Forbes magazine, so I guess they're supposed to be smart people to get some probably pretty good things here. So, all right. So I don't know. Should we continue or kind of come back to this? So we should just finish 5 and then come back and read the other half. All right. So number 5, and then we'll kind of change things up. Number 5, choose the perspective less taken. Scientists say your brain is like Velcro for negativity, and Teflon for positivity. It takes 5 positive thoughts to offset 1 negative thought, but you always have the power to choose your perspective. Focusing on problems instead of solutions constricts your outlook, jails your ability to see possibilities, and keeps you from believing in yourself. Happiness at work is yours once you flip your perspective and pinpoint the opportunity in a difficult instead of okay, hold on. Jesus, am I reading this right? And pinpoint the opportunity in a difficulty instead of a difficulty in the opportunity. I'm in the last line here. I think somebody boffed on that line there, didn't they? Okay, so maybe I was trying to read it, and I guess in a different kind of. All right. So pinpoint the opportunity in a difficulty instead of the difficulty in the opportunity. Okay. So yeah, be more positive. Be more positive looking. So all right. So yeah, we'll come back and read the rest of them. So yeah, again, thanks for hanging in there, tuning in there while we did a little bit of a rebounce there on our stuff here. Again, tuning in. So again, if you're just joining us, check out our pinned question of the week there, our what the Florida there. Would you ever pick up a hitchhiker? Geez, I'm having trouble reading tonight, I guess. So so Charlie said, I'm the parent of teenagers with a full-time job. There is no rest. Wah wah wah. So here, have some cheese with your wine bubbly. So there we go. There's our cocktail cam of the week there. So yeah. So is she having trouble there? So yes. So oh my God, she almost broke a nail. She sounds so negative. So no, you says, oh no, I have to go get my nails done. See, there you go. Yeah. All the way you look at it, perspective, right? That's exactly right. All right, so here we go. We're gonna go through our uh segment here for our Florida Man. Here we go. This just in. Breaking news about this week's Florida Man. Now here's Paul Robertson.
All right, take a look at your screen. Perhaps you've seen this little guy. He's got viral canine controversy. He did go viral this week after his courtside appearance at a Miami Heat game. Look familiar? Now his owner, though, is facing a county fine for having the dog's fur colored.
Absolutely. Here's NBC6's Alina Machado.
This South Florida Pomeranian went viral after showing up courtside at a Heat game Monday.
It made NBA history because nobody's ever seen a Pikachu dog sitting next to an NBA player before.
But it's Pikachu's fur color that is now making headlines. The dog had already gotten the attention of Miami-Dade Animal Services during an inspection at his owner's Doral puppy store on December 21st.
Pikachu was in the store. There was a staff member holding the dog on her lap, and we obtained a photograph at that time.
Kathleen Labrada, Assistant Director of Miami-Dade Animal Services, says there's a county ordinance saying it is unlawful for any person to possess, sell, or otherwise transfer within the county any dyed or artificially colored rabbit or other animal. So on December 28th, a few days after the initial inspection at World Famous Puppies, the county told Eric Torres, the dog's owner, they would be issuing a citation.
No animal should be dyed, regardless of whether there's an ordinance prohibiting that or not. You don't really have any guarantee or any assurance that the chemicals they're putting onto your pet are safe.
Miami-Dade Animal Services says they have issued 16 citations against World Famous Puppies since they were licensed in March of last year, with many of those citations stemming from complaints alleging the sale of sick dogs. Eric says he does what he can to keep the dogs healthy and disputes the allegations.
Puppies are very delicate. They do tend to have very low and weak immune systems as they develop. So it is the nature of the business that dogs do get sick.
Pikachu, Eric says, is his family dog and is not for sale.
Here it is. It's a dye. You can eat it.
He tells us he bought a bottle of the dye and maintains it is safe enough for him to eat. He plans to appeal the citation.
Because at the end of the day, I had no idea that this ordinance even existed.
He also says he is staying outside of Miami-Dade County for now.
You're not allowed to have possession of it, so it's been kind of freaking me out.
Miami-Dade Animal Services tells me at this time they have no plans to remove the dog from Eric. The citation, by the way, carries a fine of about $200. Alina Machado, NBC6 News. All right, take a look.
All right, so I don't know. It does. I think the point that the lady from the Miami-Dade animal control point was trying to make was obviously with their ordinance that they have. And again, if you're listening to this, you're not familiar with the area. This Miami-Dade, of course, I'm sure everybody knows where Miami has heard of Miami. Miami-Dade is nearly the last county in the tip of Florida, southern part of Florida before you get to the Keys. Again, that's where Miami is. Obviously, all the news. That's the largest, city and area and so forth. So I can see some crazy stuff and ordinances that they've got to do. Whether it's people keeping tigers, during the 80s, during all the cocaine cowboy stuff, or all sorts of crazy. Again, we live in a climate that you actually can bring animals that are from the Sahara. That's why we have pythons in the Everglades, and that's why we have We do have monkeys in the Everglades. We have now. Again, there's been a rumor. There's a rumor that they're supposedly these monkeys have AIDS. I don't know. There's some crazy shit that went around. But anyway, I do know we did have monkeys running around. There are all sorts of stuff because when Hurricane Andrew, we're getting way off topic here, but when Hurricane Andrew hit down in South Florida, down in Homestead, there was a zoo out there by the Everglades, and obviously tore everything apart, and you got animals that are all roaming free and all that stuff. So anyway, so I can see where these things like that too, like the lady said, this is something that the dog, yes, and pets don't have a whole lot of control over their lives, right? But yeah, you do kind of feel like you're like, that does look a little bit, stupid. The one aspect's like, all right, that's kind of cool. But then again, he's also says, well, here, it's not harmful. What does he know, right? I don't know. So again, because it went viral, but it's interesting that the Humane Society or the Animal Control had seen that dog before, because as the story told you, because they had been already reported coming from a dog. Well, right. And then he was trying to say, oh, well, this dog isn't not sick, it can't happen, whatever. I don't know. So anyway, there's our story. I don't know. I'm just trying to catch up with the comments here. So what's your guys' thoughts on this Pikachu dog out there? So keeps them healthy by covering them with chemicals. The Minion dog, yeah. Philip's got a whole minion of minion dogs running around and helping him in his workshop. Oh wow, I was way behind y'all. I think okay, yep. Okay, so I'm just catching up in the comments here. We have 3 dogs. Never once thought about dying any of them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know some animals have like odd patterns from hair growth, or it like get different, like Dalmatians, right? It looks, people think Dalmatian, that's how their hair grows. Right, yeah, cutting their hair, right? I mean, okay. I mean, you trim, give them a trim. But I get putting them, I don't know. Well, or even people, I mean, but that's not like the first time we've ever seen that. We do it all the time. Right. Apparently when Palm Beach, maybe, I don't know if Palm Beach County has an ordinance or not. So yeah, let me back up here. So, I guess the question should be, is if you didn't think it was morally wrong or was legally wrong, what would you dye your dog? How about that? Let's phrase it that way and play devil's advocate on this, because you could dye her. You could have dyed her a little bit white, and she could have been like a reverse Dalmatian, maybe. I guess a cow. So no, Brad lives in Port St. Lucie, not the Ever. So Jason, the River Pirate, says swamp ape when we were talking about the Everglades. So man, wow, you threw them way under the bus there, Phil. Good job. So again, Brad's not here to defend himself. He's got a gig tonight, the Square Grouper, in Fort Pierce. See, I follow. I pay attention. Yeah. So what would you, if you didn't feel bad about it, if you didn't think it was morally wrong, or whatever the case may be, what would you dye? What would you make your dog look like? Obviously, this guy must be a Pikachu fan. I'm surprised. I'm more of a Charizard guy. Is that right? I have no idea. I'm just making shit up. Squirtle. I think I have to ask my son to come in here and give me the rundown on Pokemon characters there. So Jason says dogs lick themselves and chemical dyes might be toxic. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? They lick themselves all the time. I mean, like cats lick them, definitely. I mean, especially dogs are always, I don't know, they're always got their tongue on everything. Oh, it's a full body, yeah. Yeah. So maybe he's in the wrong business, actually. Maybe he should be like, yeah, hair designer or something like that. So yeah, so that's kind of crazy there. So there you go. There's cheers to you, our Florida man of the week. So definitely get a chance. Yeah, so if you're hanging in there here with us, if you're new to the live stream here, thank you for joining us here. Obviously, jump on in. Don't be afraid if you see this chat going on. A lot of our regulars are tuning in here. Don't be afraid. Jump on in. These guys don't bite unless you want them to. And hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Make sure, again, these are all the important things. I know most of you guys, all our regulars here, they know all this. They know all that kind of stuff that we asked them for, and I appreciate them tuning in every week. hanging out with us. I know some of you missed the bingo last week. And then I do have to remind and make an announcement about that so I haven't got the prizes out to you guys yet who did win stuff. I know Philip won some stuff. Siri won some stuff as well. And I think Sean, you also won some stuff. Again, I'll catch you. I told you guys last week I'm probably going to be a little behind getting that stuff out. But one of the things again is we're going to do that every month. Bingo. I think I might do, because we know somebody's birthday is coming up this month, and we were thinking about we're trying to figure out whether to do it on the 19th or the 26th. So we'll try to figure that out here soon. What day we're gonna do the bingo. We'll try to get the word out there about that. Yes, Jay. Yeah, Jay, I thought you would have been there, definitely, for sure. It was it was a week ago, right? So yes, bingo. It was a big bingo night, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Philip. Sean, that was a big bingo night too, right? Basically, we had 3 giveaways, 3 different prize levels, and 3 games, and that was the first time. So hopefully, we may dial it back from not from a 5x5 to maybe a 4x4, maybe. I don't know how it works. Anyway, this is again your perspective. So I miss bingo. So no worries, man. So again, we're gonna do it once. We're gonna keep this as a recurring thing on the show here. Once a month, we're gonna do bingo. I would love to do a live. I don't know if we could do a hybrid bingo, live bingo, and a virtual bingo. I guess you would have to. You probably could. You'd have to have cards. We probably still could use the same caller, but you'd have to make sure you're slow enough on the. We'll figure it out. We got to figure it out. And I know some bars do bingo nights and things like that, but again, maybe what we want to do is hopefully have some type of a variety kind of night where we do a hosting where we're doing all sorts of crazy shit, like the Osmond show or something like that, or whatever variety show that there was. The Dean Martin show, yeah, the Dean Martin show. We're finding great prizes. Yeah, those were great. I'll get all that stuff out to you. But the big thing is I just wanted to announce was we were going to continue in the new year. Again, part of our, hopefully supporting the podcast is over in our Patreon page there, patreon.com/drumsandrums. And we do have 2 tiers. If you'd like to join us, help the podcast, some of that is like the prizes or, things that we're going to put back into the show. Subscribe there. You can, there's 2 tiers. And, but we're going to move the bingo over to Patreon exclusive. So, again, just kind of helps with the prizes and things like that too. So hopefully it doesn't, upset anybody about it too much. Again, the entry and, starter, I think tier is just $5. And then again, I think there's a 17 one that I pick in there. So again, read the description on those tiers. You'll kind of get maybe the reference to why there's the first tier is called 1 shot, and the second tier is 16 shot, because obviously there's 16 shots in a 750 milliliter bottle. So that's why it's $16. But anyway, so again, that's the kind of do. I said, we'll let you all know when the next the bingo is for this month of January. Got a lot of new things to do. Looking forward to 2023. And again, I appreciate you all hanging in there with us, through this journey, whether it's through the podcast or both podcasts or maybe some future podcasts. A lot of our live events that you've tuned in. Last week's happy birthday show there with Mario, the Perez, the owner of House of Beer, Wine and Spirits, fellow. He's also going to be a staple. We're going to keep him on also, or have him on once a month too. We'll talk about different products. So we got bingo once a month. We got Mario once a month. And again, I'm really looking forward to it. This is the year. We've been doing this for going on 3 years now. I've learned a lot. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And I'm really excited about 2023, and I hope you all as well too. I hope you got a lot of great plans and really everything, the outcome that you y'all have coming to what you're looking forward to. So very funny. Okay, I'll fight a blue hair over bingo. I'll daub their jaws with their ink. Man, I had to think about. I had to read that one there. Mario has the voice for radio. Oh man, don't tell him that. He's gonna have to tell him. Maybe he's got to be like, I don't want to give him a hard time. He's not on. Tell him he can do some phone sex or something like that. So only voice, onlyvoice.com. Also there too. I dropped there during December was with the short form podcast called Carpooling, as I was mentioning earlier, was there's a link that you can go on in the description of the podcast. It's called the website's called Speak Pipe. So it's SpeakPipe.com/drums and rums, and you can click on that and then leave me a little voice message. Give me feedback. If you want to get a hold of me and you don't want to email me or drop me a message on social media or whatever, you can go to that link. It's in all the descriptions of all the latest podcasts that we drop. You can click on there, leave a little message. You can put your name optional. You can put your email address optional. You don't have to tell me who you are. Hopefully it's all positive stuff. But yeah, you can make like a 90-second little sound, like a voice message, and then just let me know what you think. What you're thinking, or if you want to get a hold of me that way. That's a great way for me to kind of get access to you. Other than email or whatever the case may be. So yeah, so definitely for sure. So tune in. So again, if you're just joining us, thank you. Come hang out with us here. I'm like I said, our cocktail cam went by a little too quick here, so I may have to have another little cocktail here in a second. But yeah, if you just checked in here, check out our question of the week there. Would you ever pick up a hitchhiker? Would you ever pick up a hitchhiker? And I think we've already had a discussion a little bit. Some of the folks here in the group here, they've gone from no, absolutely not, to no. Well, maybe if they're hot, okay, that's fair. To we talked about cockleburs also too, and that's a different kind of hitchhiker than what we were talking about. Well, I don't know. Maybe the card is talking about that. Could be. We never know. That's true. Would you? Yeah, you're right. You don't get a choice in the matter. So just real quick, coming up here. So this week we're doing a couple more live streams. So again, check out this Saturday at 1:00. We may actually have 2 live streams on Saturday. We're not sure yet, but for sure 1:00 we've got a live stream with Tiki John. John is a major rum guy. He's got a massive tiki mug collection. That's one of, he's got tiki mugs. I'm going to want to talk to him more about some of the tiki culture, some of the tiki stuff that they do, that he's involved with. He does also speak at conferences, rum conferences and events. I'm going to see him coming up. I can't believe it's next month is the Miami Rum Congress. That's like right around the corner. So that's another event we've got coming up. And so that's going to be really cool. So check out the live stream there, 1 p.m. over here on YouTube with Tiki John. And we're going to ask some questions. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Because again, I'm not a tiki guy, to be honest. It's not that I got anything against it. It's just something, again, I guess I'm kind of doing my own thing, right? And so I want to learn a little bit more about it. And because obviously there's a lot of tiki events, and there's a lot of rum that are associated to tiki events. And I'm just gonna look for it. So again, come home, hanging out. And college football is pretty much over. I know big football weekend here for the NFL. Again, I did a little short podcast about the Damar Hamlin the other morning. So again, you can listen to that over on the podcast there, my thoughts and so forth. And so come and hang out with us, and then I might be going actually to my own professional football game on Sunday. So stay tuned on that kind of stuff. So follow us over on the social medias. I'll be posting some things there too. And so we have another drink here. So before we sign off here. So yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? So I know we got a lot of stuff here in our room. All right, I'm back. So, all right. So what I grabbed here was a cocoa vodka. Let's go ahead and we'll pour this into. Almost broke something. Here we go. So we'll go ahead and switch back to our cocktail cam here. We're going to pour ourselves some. So again, if you guys. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. Our camera didn't update. camera, please. I think. All right, so I don't know. I have no idea what the heck is going on. What is going on tonight? Here we go. Here we go. We got all sorts of things happening here tonight. So again, let's see if we can do the pour here in the right. Oh, this one actually will pour right. So again, this is the cocoa vodka there here. So that is with if you checked out a couple last month, we had Mark from Cocoa Rum, Cocoa Vodka on, and we met them at the Miami Rum Renaissance Festival back in November. You know, they were one of the exhibitors, and they have a product here. See, this one is vodka base, and the other one, what? Oh, sorry, am I blocking the logo? And they also have a rum one too, and they have a couple flavors coming out too, which I told them I said I really like to have them back on. But they had just announced a partnership with Dead Mouse is now promoting a partnership with Cocoa Vodka, Cocoa Rum, and so that's huge for them to actually have somebody like that part of their brand. So very very coconut. Oh yeah, this is a lot more. That's because vodkas were pretty much all odorless, clear, tasteless, and so forth. That could be very dangerous there. So this is again, check out their cocoa vodka there. Like I said, you can find it here in ABC, not ABC, Total Wine. That's where I got this, bought them out of. Again, it wasn't anything special. He didn't send me anything, so it wasn't like it was hard to get. But again, you can go to their website. It's a great sipper here. Again, look at that, very little carbonation, right? It's coconut water, and they call it the first. And he told me the first, I guess, trademark or patent it. They call it a hard coconut water. So it's the first one. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I told him he's got to come back. Well, yeah. So now, if you saw a couple of the videos we did, we actually did make some, because it's the alcohol the percentage of alcohol is still low enough that you can freeze it. We made some cocoa cubes, and so again, you take some of those cocoa cubes, put it in any of your drinks that you want. If you want it, instead of just using a regular ice cube, why not freeze something like this? It starts melting. It'll start infusing some of those flavors into your cocktail. Maybe like Jason, if Jason's still there hanging out, drinking his Florida Tacana, and he puts his drink in there. So let's see. That's cool in the voice. My better half needs the laptop. Got to go. All right, Jay. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in there. So so anyway, here's our cocktail cam here. So then check it out there. Cocoa Vodka. So check it out. So we'll try to do some more stuff with those guys here in the future. So like I said, I think that's we hit everything we needed to do. And so check out if you're here in West Palm. If you're in the West Palm area, or definitely go check out our good friends there at SandyBottleSips, right, .com, right? See if I can get that the camera good enough there. Sandy Bottle Sips. So again, we'll go through our segment here about our shout out there. We talked about our Florida Man, talked about our cards and everything else. And let's get to our solo plugs. Oh no, the camera's gone. How about we go back here? How about we come back? We'll do this real quick. We'll do a little quickaroo. We'll fix this. So we'll try to fill in our time here. Stretch the time, right? I gotta go to here. Let's see if we can do this. This is what happens when your computer reboots and stuff like that. All right, so I think this will work for right now. We're getting ready to transition. All right, there we go. So so check out our here is our plug shameless plug segments or so forth, advertising, whatever you want to call it there. Pleasant plugs. There you go. Not to be confused with butt plugs. Anyway, so yeah, that'd be a good sponsor there. So yeah, to check out their Jams and Coffee every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time there. Join Brad Brock as he gets you into work there in the morning there, tells you some national days. He covers a lot of celebrity birthdays, topics, current events, and so forth. So check him out over there. He also live streams on YouTube from 8 a.m. Until about 9 p.m., so for about an hour or so. And so usually you'll find myself and Philip and quite a few others hanging out in the chats there, keeping Brad company and keeping ourselves amused, and because we're trying to keep ourselves entertained. Also, his Wednesday night show, as I mentioned, Jams and Cocktails there. It's a live stream also every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. So this is easy to remember, 8 p.m., 8 a.m. So 8 p.m. Jams and Cocktails podcast there. They live stream there. Brad and Jordan and Ellie and Derek, they're there every week. Also, our Rum Posse there. Check out, was in the chats here. We've got Jason, the River Pirate, and Jami and Rashawn from Ready, Set, Rum, and Nia from My Rum Diaries, and Roger and Roy and Cole from Just Drinking. And then last but not least, House of Wine, Beer, and Spirits that you guys already talked about. You guys are already familiar with my sometimes co-host there, Mario Perez there. So there he is, the president of House of Wine, Beer, and Spirits. So if you're looking for some distribution there for some spirits you know of, check them out, give them a call, or reach out to me and I can pass the word along to them. So there you go. There's our plugs there for all of our folks there. So again, a quick applause to all of those for hanging out there. And again, is there anyone else you know who's looking to sponsor? It'll be great to have somebody sponsor our Cocktail Cam segment or our Florida Man segment. I've kind of given up on Florida Man or Cigar City Brewing there for coming along and trying to sponsor our Florida Man segment, because I guess they're not even paying attention to me. But yeah, if there's anybody out there you think that'd be worthwhile or interested in sponsoring it, let me know or let them know to contact me. But also don't forget about the Patreon page there. Spread the word, get people to subscribe to the YouTube channel, listen to the podcast. I got another great one coming up here shortly. Like I said, we've got some live streams on Saturday, so definitely hope to see you there on Saturday. Checking out. So to hit that like button. And I think we've hit all our marks here. I think we've made it. We've hit our cocktails. We've done our segments. I don't know if there's anything else. So I hope you all have a great weekend there. Again, it looks like for us here in Florida, the weather's really nice. It's warmed up a good bit. We're back to our normal January weather instead of all that cold crap we had about a week ago, or 2 weeks now, almost. Yeah, 2 weeks. Wow. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in here. So I appreciate y'all for hanging out with us tonight here for Friday Eve, we call it, in the biggest happy hour in half an hour or maybe an hour sometimes. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in with us and hanging out there. So again, thank you all. This is Paul, where the backbeats meets the spirits.